Good morning, viewers, and welcome to another Onside SA soccer show. Paul is away at the opening of the White Hart Lane Stadium, so joining me as normal is our regular super sub, Manning Rangers League winner Gavin Radford. Gav.
Hey Butch, good morning. Good to be here.
Yep.
I wish I was full.
Yeah.
Looks like a very nice stadium.
There were about 30 people on the pitch last night. Did Laff get on there, or was he?
I'm sure he was desperate to get on. But what a stadium.
Yeah,
fantastic. I mean, to get that stadium up and running, I mean, £1 billion.
Yeah.
It's a really work of art.
Yeah, it does look a nice stadium, yeah.
But greasy last night, so
Yeah.
the players were slipping and sliding. But I think that's just the amount of water they had in the rain. But pitch was in immaculate condition. I mean, they really got to be proud to play there.
No, you're right. I think it'll keep a few of their players too. We kick off as always on our last one standing soccer competition. Last weekend, which was week 5, we had 161 entries going through. 153 survived. The only people who went out were the guys that were on Wolves, who were beaten at Burnley. We had 3 people on West Ham who lost at home to Everton and Brighton. They were beaten by Southampton 1-0. This weekend we included all of Tuesday's and Wednesday's Premiership games. So of the 176 entries we had, 116 went through. It was only Man United and a previous winner who were eliminated. Stevie B in our London studio. Steve, are you there? Morning, Steve, are you there?
I'm there. Morning.
Yeah, Steve, you weren't at White Hart Lane last night with Paul, were you?
No, I was watching the City game. Was on the TV last night.
Yeah, it looks a really nice stadium, doesn't it? Steve?
Hi, you cut out.
Sorry, Steve, looks a really nice stadium, doesn't it?
Oh, it looks fantastic. I mean, they're talking about it sort of being one of the best in the world now, and you're talking. I mean, it cost almost £1 billion. I mean, you'd expect it to be something special.
Yeah, and I see they've made sure that it's slightly bigger capacity than the Emirates and Arsenal.
Yes, it is higher, and although I understand it wasn't quite full last night for whatever reason, it was about 3,000 below capacity. But it's still, I'm sure next season they'll be selling all their season tickets.
Yeah, guaranteed. Steve, on to the midweek Premiership. United disappointing result at Wolves. I heard Solskjaer said he thought we could have won. Do you agree with him?
Yeah, very disappointing. I mean, the first sort of 15, 20 minutes, you thought United were going to steamroll them, and they really let Wolves off the hook. And after that, Wolves got back, it was a mistake, and Wolves got back in the game, and obviously the sending off just sort of killed it for United, I think. And that's a poor result, bearing in mind all the others.
Yeah.
Won. I think it leaves United in a trickier position now.
Yeah, I know. Chelsea, Brighton, I saw the goals, likewise Man City, Cardiff. Yeah, those two teams looked like they were cruising through.
Yeah, I mean, the Man City game, I mean, it was only 2-0, but it could have been anything. I mean, they had so many attempts. That Neil Etheridge in the Cardiff goal made something like 10 saves. I mean, actually, it was as one-sided a game as I've seen this season. Yeah,
so the highlights showed. Steve, top 4, who have you got? Obviously, Man City and Liverpool. Who are your two, the other 4?
Well, I mean, City, Liverpool, obviously, I mean, they're 1 and 2. There's no question there. I still think City might just be a little bit too strong, but Liverpool got to keep on winning. But after that, it becomes very interesting because although Arsenal got a game in hand, but of their last 7 games, 5 are away, and their away form, as we know, in recent seasons has not been that strong. So you could perm any 2 from 4. I'm just a little bit worried about United's form at the moment.
Yeah.
Really struggled against Watford, struggled at Wolves for some of the game. I think United have got a bit to do.
Yeah, I agree. Steve, on to the weekend fixtures. We kick off on Friday. Can you see Southampton upsetting Liverpool?
I'm not that upset, but I think that Liverpool are going to have to be a little bit sharper. I mean, Southampton have got a lot to play for. They can't afford to lose that. They're very close at the bottom. On the other hand, Liverpool can't afford to drop any points at all now. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think it will be close. I think Liverpool will edge it, but I don't think you could take it for granted.
Yeah, I agree. I think there'll be a few goals in there, but Liverpool at the moment, it just seems to be rolling for them. On to Saturday, we've got Bournemouth and Burnley. How do you see that going?
Yeah, I mean, Bournemouth are strong at home, and Burnley haven't been so good. But but Burnley had a big win at the weekend, which they really needed.
Yeah.
They're very close to the bottom. I think that's going to be a tight game. Bournemouth are pretty much safe. I mean, they've just got maybe a few points more than the others. I don't think there'll be much in it at all. I think Bournemouth would want to finish strongly.
Yeah.
But I think Burnley are going to dig in. I think that's going to be a very tight game. Probably. I'm looking at a score draw there.
Yeah, the biggest game, obviously, the weekend in the Premiership is Arsenal travelling to Everton. Now, I know Arsenal have only won one of the last 8 away. Can you see Everton?
This is a crucial game for them because obviously it's the first of 5 away games. It's the toughest one I think they've got left away. Everton played well against Chelsea. I thought Everton was superb at West Ham on Saturday evening. Played really well. Could have won by a lot more. I think that's going to be a tough game for Arsenal. If Arsenal come through that, then they've got a really good chance. But I can see Everton at least holding them.
Yeah, so can I. Steve, it's as if FA Cup weekend. Obviously, you can't really see Brighton upsetting Man City, can you?
No, unless there's something incredible happens, you really can't. City. I think they changed 7 players last night and still look so strong. City could put out any 11 of their squad, and I think they're going to be too strong for Brighton. The other game though is going to be a hard one to call.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot to choose between Watford and Wolves at the moment. I think I just have a feeling Wolves might just be a little bit too strong, but I think that's going to be a tight game.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be 1 goal in it. Could even go to extra time.
Yeah, it's just one of those games where the physical teams really seem to outdo Wolves, where the teams, especially the top teams, they go man for man and try and play. That Neves and Matinha, they've got some very good ball players in that Wolves team. Yeah,
no, I mean, Wolves have got sort of a good mix. They're very physical at the back. They're a strong team.
Yeah.
And as you say, they've got a lot of good ball players and skillful players. But Watford have really done very well this year.
Yeah.
And, they're strong up front. They're physical up front. Obviously with Troy Deeney, Andre Gray, they can put themselves about a bit. So I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, let's hope so. Steve, on to the Championship, which is really hotting up. Leeds United jumped into second place after a squeaky victory last week. Do you think they can go to Birmingham and beat them?
I think so. I think that's a game that they've got to target to go and get a result. Birmingham, as we know, obviously having had that 9 points deducted, a little bit too close for comfort to the bottom. But I think Leeds would just be a little bit too strong. I mean, they came back. They were losing to Millwall with not long to go and showed a lot of character. So I think they'll go there, and I think they'll pick up a win.
Okay, Brentford derby.
Yeah, tough. I mean, Brentford have been very good at home, but shocking away, and they've fallen out of it now. I think this is a game that Derby are going to have to target. It's very, very close around the playoffs. I think there'll definitely be goals there, but both scoring goals. I think Derby might just edge it though. Yeah.
Well, my beloved Preston, who were terrible last week, we lost at Reading. How do you see us going against Sheffield United at home?
I think it was a very disappointing result. I mean, obviously, having a big push and now obviously just a few points adrift.
Yeah.
Sheffield United really surprised me losing at home to Bristol City.
Yeah.
They've had a great opportunity to stay in second place. So I think there'll be a really good game and I think there'll be goals, but I think Sheffield United might just edge it.
Well, thanks for that, Steve. For me, the biggest game in the Championship is the Steve Bruce derby. Sheffield Wednesday at home against Aston Villa.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, it's as we know, Wednesday have had a very good run. They're not far adrift, but Villa, to me, I just got this sneaking feeling that they could do it through the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
They're having a really good run, scoring a lot of goals. Tammy Abraham is almost scoring every game at the moment.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a tight game, but I think Villa might just edge that one.
Okay, and the last one, the champions, Steve, for us, Steve, is Swansea Middlesbrough.
Yeah, well, Swansea, they're strong at home, can't play away. Borough have just really in free fall at the moment, having a terrible run. I think it's five defeats in a row, and they've lost 4 at home in a row. Had a really bad result during the week, losing at home to Bristol City. To my mind, they're out of it now, pretty much. I mean, they're falling away. I think this is last chance saloon for Borough, but I think Swansea will be too strong at home.
Yeah, Steve. This time next week we'd have had the first legs of the Champions League. Tuesday night we got Liverpool-Porto. Comfortable victory?
Well, Liverpool are going to feel that they've got to get a home advantage. I mean, Porto don't travel very well. They're relatively good at home, Porto, and I think Liverpool are going to want to try and keep a clean sheet and go there with a 1 or 2 goal lead.
Yeah, the big game obviously Tuesday, Tottenham, Man City.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to call. And I think, obviously Tottenham are going to definitely playing in front of a full house. As we said before, teams often don't like playing against teams from their country because sometimes form doesn't always count. But City just looks so strong. I think if Tottenham can avoid defeat in that game, at least then it gives them something to hang on to. But I think that's going to be very close or a narrow City win.
Yeah, on to Wednesday, we got Barcelona coming to Old Trafford. You think they'll be too good for Man United?
I mean, obviously United confounded everybody winning at PSG, but to me, Barcelona are just too strong. Yeah. I think if United can avoid defeat at home, then obviously give themselves a chance. Obviously, what they can't afford to do is to slip up at home like they did in the previous round and expect to go to the Nou Camp. But I think United are going to have to show a little bit more than they have in recent weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't see any chance for us. So the last game, obviously, is the one that you think could be an upset. Ajax at home to Juventus.
Well, I think it's going to be. I think it'll be a really good. I mean, Ajax have got nothing to lose. I mean, they've sort of confounded expectations, gone further than people expected. I think they'll throw everything at Juve, but Juve, just don't lose many games, and I think they're going to. They'll keep it very tight. So I think if they can silence the Amsterdam Arena crowd, I think it'll be a tight game, and I think Juve will be very pleased to take them back to Turin if hold them in the first game.
Okay, Steve, thanks very much for your help. And if there is an upset this week, is it Everton and Arsenal or Southampton upsetting Liverpool?
Arsenal just sometimes flatter to deceive, and as we say, they've won 1 in 8 away.
Yeah.
That form isn't good enough for them to stay in the top 4. So I think Arsenal might have to have a bit of a go, and they could lead themselves to the counter attack. And so I was very impressed with Everton last weekend. So I think it'll be a tight game. And I think if there was to be a surprise, that would probably be it.
All right, Steve. Have a good weekend, Steve. And I'm sure you're running
Lovely,
to Paul.
Thank you very much. And thank you for not mentioning Fulham.
Okay.
It's painful enough as it is.
I'll cost you a beer next time I see you, Steve. Keep well. All right, Gav. Obviously, Steve's comments, that's what I didn't want to mention. Fulham, his team got relegated.
Yeah, you're spending £100 million on your team for the season and you get relegated. I mean, it's...
Yeah,
players have put their hands up and admit, they weren't good enough. I think maybe just too many players at once into the team and didn't gel fast enough. And they ended up paying the price. Yeah,
sadly. Anyway, it's FA Cup weekend. Both games are at Wembley. First game is on Saturday, Man City against Brighton. Any chance for an upset?
No. Man City, another formality. I mean, yesterday they played a couple of players that were the youngsters, fringe players, if you can call them that. And they were too strong, like Steve said. I mean, they could have won 4 or 5 quite easily. I can't see Brighton get anything from this game. Yeah, but it is the FA Cup. It is. So we've got to give it the respect.
And it's Wembley, and obviously Tuesday night's the bigger game than the semi-final. I looked at all the odds on that. I think it was 6-10 Man City to win both halves. But, I really wouldn't like to have a bet on this one.
I think the bet there would be that Man City to score, keep a clean sheet. I think that'll be the bet for the day.
The other games is the bigger game of the two, Watford-Wolves. I like Watford. I know Wolves, everybody jumping up and down. They've played well against the big teams. But Watford have got a bit of fire in them.
Yeah, Watford have done well through the rounds. I mean, they've beaten some nice teams. Same with Wolves. I mean, it's going to be a close game. I like Wolves. That's what I saw the other day of the 2 games that they played United. They really dominated us. And we were our own worst enemies the other night. But Wolves, nice team, well balanced. They've got a couple of players that are coming of age there. And they've got a couple of players that are a little long in the tooth, but are good players, good international players. And the manager must take credit from this team this year. He's really done well this year with this team. And I see Wolves maybe shading it.
Yeah, well, they beat Man United, they beat Liverpool. So if ever there's a team deserves to get to the final, it's Wolves. On to the Premiership. We've only got a few games this week. Kicks off on Friday night, Southampton, Liverpool.
Well, this game, Liverpool's game last week had me on the edge of the seat, but you just knew that something was going to happen late in the game. When you're fighting for the championship, you always seem to have a little bit of luck that goes your way, and you get a World Cup goalkeeper, Lloris, dropping the ball, which I thought was an absolute disaster. Absolute howler. But Liverpool, give them credit. Their home form standing up again. They're getting the results. I think Liverpool win this game.
Yeah, so do I. Funny thing is, I think they've signed 7 players from Southampton, Liverpool. So I wonder what change room Van Dijk and Mane will go into. But I agree, it's a great game for Friday. Now, Bournemouth, Burnley. Burnley, great result at Wolves last week. Bournemouth at home, good record.
Look, I think both teams to score in this game. I think Sean Dyche, he must have read the right acts to his players last week to get a result.
Yep.
And they pitched up and they played, and that's the type of game Burnley play. They pressurise you. They haven't got any star players, but as long as they keep the pressure and don't concede one, they'll always be in the game. So this game is going to be a tight game, but I think both teams to score and the draw will be in play.
You like that, Gav. Okay, now Huddersfield are gone. Tailed off. They've lost 9 of the last 10 at home. 7 of 10 Leicester. Looks a big price.
Yes, that's my best bet of the weekend, Leicester to win this one. I think Huddersfield really struggling. They put up a good fight last week, up into a point, and then it just seems to capitulate at the end. But I think Leicester best bet of the weekend.
Yeah, they do look good things. The second page that we've got, Newcastle, Crystal Palace. Now, Newcastle were terrible on Monday night against Arsenal, but they've won their last 5 at home. Crystal Palace, I don't know whether the occasion got to them last night. Spurs are a good team. Had a few chances early on. I think this is a chance for them to cause an upset.
Yeah, Crystal Palace tried to play a bit of a counter-attacking game last night. So, a big occasion. All the players were feeling the emotions of the stadium and the ground. Newcastle, always difficult to beat at home. Yeah. They've got 55,000 and they pack it in week in and week out. I think that's the only event they have in Newcastle. Yeah. But tight game. Either way, 1 goal. I'm leaning towards Newcastle being the home team. I think they might shade it.
Okay. Everton, Arsenal.
Well, here's 2 teams that contrasting fortunes for them. One can't win at home and the other one can't win away from home. Yeah. But like Steve said, big game for both teams. Arsenal really need to consolidate now. They're coming into the home. But the away form is poor. You can't really put your neck out. Big price, 11 to 10 for Arsenal if you're an Arsenal backer. Yeah. But Everton showed a little bit of steel last week, and maybe Everton will get a result here.
Yeah, I think goals are a formality. Arsenal have got to go for it. I think a draw, big play. In the last game, London derby, Chelsea, West Ham. I know they don't like each other.
Well, I saw a few changes in the Chelsea team last night. The boy Giroud scored again, so he's putting his hand up to get a starting position. The 2 youngsters they've got in the team, I think they're quality youngsters. They've got to hold on to those 2 youngster players. The one scored a great goal. Yeah, I think Chelsea at home will be too good for West Ham. West Ham, they're a bit iffy in their away form. Yeah. But I like Chelsea. I think they've won their last 4 and drew 2. So I think Chelsea win this one. Yeah, they do. Look, Monday night game. On to the Championship, where, as we said earlier, it's really hotting up. Now, Norwich are flying. I think they're 6 points clear of third-placed Sheffield United. Surely they've got to beat QPR, who had their manager fired during the week. No, Norwich best bet of the weekend in the Championship. It's always hard to find winners in this league, but I think Norwich 4 to 10. I think that you can put that in all your doubles and trebles. I think they'll win. Yeah. Birmingham, Leeds United. Well, I had a nice bet on Leeds last week, and I was sweating all the way through that game. I think they'll get a result against Birmingham. Again, you're fighting for the Championship, and you're fighting up to get promoted. I think they just have something going for them. I think they'll be too strong. Yeah. Now the next game, Blackburn, Stoke. Stoke's last 4 league games have drawn 0-0. They've drawn 8 of their last 11. If ever there's a game that should be 21 to 10, should be your bet for a draw, it's this one. Blackburn are out of form, so are Stoke. Yeah, Stoke, I just can't get it right with them this year. I've tried everything with them to try and win a game. Blackburn, the same thing, but I think this game is, like you say, a draw written over it. No, there's no confidence in this game at all. So draw's got to be a runner here. Now, Bolton are second bottom. Ipswich are bottom. There's been trouble. Bolton haven't been played. The players were going on strike. Chance for Ipswich? Yeah, if there's ever a chance where you can catch a team that's a little bit off and not concentrating, it's got to be Ipswich. But another game, I can see a draw. Yeah. I think a draw, big runner. Bolton, it used to be such a big club. It's sad to see them in this type of administration problems. But yeah, the draw for me. Yeah, I think there'll be goals in that. Now, onto the second page, Brentford derby. Frank Lampard's derby. This time every year, they tend to go missing. Brentford at home, 1-4 drawn 1. Yeah, tough to beat Brentford, but look at Derby's form last weekend. I think they put 6 away, so maybe they're starting to show a bit of fight as well. Not one of my favourite teams to back Derby. Yeah. But I'm going to go with Brentford for the home form. I think their home form's standing up nicely. I think they'll give Derby a run. But Derby will have a bit of confidence after the 6 last week. So be a tight game, but I think Brentford will shade it. Look, a formality. Now, Bristol City, their last 2 games, they beat Middlesbrough away and they beat Sheffield United away. Now, they play a Wigan team who haven't won away from home in 17 matches. I think if you're taking doubles and trebles, I think Bristol City will be a good value bet at even money. I think if they can't win this game, then there's problems. Yeah. Wigan side, like you say, they can't win away from home. good chance for you to stick one away.
Yeah, and Hull City were one of the teams that everybody thought were going to squeak into the playoff spots. 9-10 in your play?
No, I just don't have that confidence with this Hull side. They've got good home form. I think they've won 7, drawn 3, but no confidence. In saying that Reading are about to get relegated, and they're fighting for every result.
They beat Preston last week.
Your team, Preston, got beat by them. So, no, it doesn't any confidence from me for a Hull. But, yeah, good value at 9-10 for them at home.
Okay, Millwall, West Brom.
West Brom's my team. Almost every week I find myself putting them in. And I see a 16-10 value bet on the cards, yeah. I mean, they're playing away from home, but then they're getting their results. They know how to win a match.
Pressure time, big squad.
Pressure time. They've got some experienced players in their squad.
Yeah.
I think they'll win this game.
Now, the big game for me this weekend is Preston, Sheffield United. We're unbeaten at 7 at home, but our previous result at Reading makes this a must-win game. I think there's goals in this, but I've got no confidence in my boys. Sheffield United?
Yeah, I think they're fighting for the promotional spot, automatic promotion spot. So I think they got a bit of a setback last week. Yeah. But I think they'll set the record right this week. I think a nice price too at 13-10, 14-10 for Sheffield United. I think they'll get a result.
Yeah, now Rotherham a third bottom against Roy Keane and Martin O'Neill's Nottingham Forest. 15-10.
Forest, nice value bet at 15. So I might sneak them to 1 or 2 doubles.
Yeah.
Or take them into win and draw. I think you might get about 5-6-10 for a win and draw away from home. I think Forest is a good bet at 15-10.
Yeah, now the big game, the Steve Bruce derby. Aston Villa won the last 5 against a team that's unbeaten in the last 12.
Yeah, I think the Aston Villa team, we spoke about them last week. I think it's Greenwich, I think his name is. He's done wonders for the team since he's got back in. I think he's got that team really moving forward. I think this Aston Villa side is scoring goals. I can see both teams scoring in this game. But again, I'm leaning for their away team at a nice 15-10 price. Yeah. Aston Villa, definitely the form team.
And Swansea, who hard to beat at home. We saw them against Man City in the FA Cup. They're a bit unlucky. Middlesbrough lost the last 5. 15-10 looks a big price.
Big price, Swansea. Middlesbrough, geez, I've never seen a team just fall apart. Yeah. They just can't buy results. I mean, they were so well. They got such a good squad, but they are so bad the last couple of weeks. I can see Swansea winning at 15-10.
Okay, Gav, on to the PSL, where we had a game on Monday night. Orlando Pirates 0, Sundowns 0. Now, I read Pizzo's comments, said his players were warriors. Good result in the end for Sundowns.
Yeah, very good result. Keeps their noses in front. Very good game. It's good to see a good local game of soccer. I mean, both teams went for it. Again, the finishing from the players they just lack that little bit of class in front of goal. Still a bit of panic in their stations, but at least the league is coming down to the wire again. So we're a couple of leagues around the world with it's coming down to the last couple of games. Keeps it interesting.
Now, Friday night, Harry Gwala, Maritzburg against Celtic. The 3 points adrift, must win for Eric Tinkler's team.
Yeah, I thought Bloemfontein and Celtic would be too good for Arrows last week, and they got stuck away. I'm actually going to go with Maritzburg United. I think Tinkler's got them fired up.
Yeah, he has.
You know, they're hard to beat in Maritzburg. They've lost a lot of games, 1-0, 2-1. I think that Maritzburg United can get a result here at 17-10.
Yeah, I agree. They won their last, 2 prior. They played Sundowns. They shouldn't have lost to Sundowns. They lost 2-1, but they played well. Now, Bidvest Wits, I couldn't believe they drew with Chipper last week. They cost us a bet. Pirates.
Yeah, if you're looking at the form book, you would think the Pirates would be too strong for this game. Yeah. But Wits are one of those teams. You know, they bounce back. Gavin will have them bouncing back. He'll have a good session this week with them. It's another tough game for Pirates. I mean, 2 big games in a row coming quickly. But I think Pirates will shade them. I really think Pirates will beat them. But yeah, I think both teams to score will be the bet.
Yeah, I like that too. You know, second against third, whoever loses, one of them's got to go for it. The draw doesn't suit anybody. Now, Arrows had a good result in Bloemfontein last week against a Cape Town City team who were outplayed by Chiefs.
Yeah, 100%. I think Cape Town City, like I said, they took them right out to, it was at the Polokwane area where the stadium is, made them really travel. I think they came unstuck there. I think Benny will have them going for this game. They're coming to Durban on the coast. Nice team, Cape Town City. I like them. They've really done well this year. They've punched way above their weight this year. They score goals. They have a go. I'm not really Arrows fan. I'm going to lean towards Cape Town City.
Okay, now Chiefs, who were superb last week, surely they've got to beat Baraka.
Yeah, Chiefs bounce back. I think they're one of those teams that the supporters demand results from them week in and week out, and they've got to win a trophy. So Nedbank is up the alley for them to win a trophy. So they put themselves about. Yeah. I think they'll be too good for Baraka in this game. 7-10 looks like a bit of value for Chiefs.
So I agree. Now Amazulu, hard to beat at at the stadium there in Umlazi. Chipper United played well last week. I was impressed with Clint's team.
Clinton's coming back to Durban again with this team.
Yeah.
I really like Amazulu. I mean, I'm not a big Amazulu fan, but I think Amazulu are going to get a result here. Yeah. You know, I watched the Chipper side. They have a couple of good players. A guy scored a spectacular goal.
Yeah.
I think Amazulu are going to shade this game. I think they're really playing well. I mean, Garvin's really got the team going.
Yeah.
12-10 Amazulu at home.
Yeah,
Tough to
Saturday
beat.
night game at Kings Wellatini. The last game, the Sunday game, Polokwane Black Leopards. Now, Polokwane don't get beat at home. Dylan Kerr hasn't done a bad job at Black Leopards.
Yeah, I like Polokwane. They're quite a nice team. They score some fantastic goals,
Yeah,
this team.
they
You
have a
watch
go.
their goals. I want the video over the season of their goals. They've got some players who scored some crackers. 7-10, yeah, I'll be leaning towards Polokwane at home. Don't get beat there too often.
No, you're right. Be a nice bumpy pitch too. On to our exotics for the weekend. We start with the Soccer 6 on Saturday, and I've banked Highlands Park Free State Stars. That game's been postponed because of a death for one of the Free State Stars players. I've sided with Orlando Pirates, win and draw at home against Bidvest Wits. I've gone the field in the Golden Arrows Cape Town City game. Likewise, the Newcastle Crystal Palace game. I think Kaizer Chiefs will be too good for Baraka. And I've gone Amazulu win and draw at home against Chipper. Our second Soccer 6 is the English one. I've gone Blackburn Rovers win and draw at home against Stoke. I've gone Bournemouth win and draw at home against Burnley. I've banked Leicester to win at Huddersfield. I've gone Crystal Palace win and draw at Newcastle. Likewise, Aston Villa win and draw at Sheffield Wednesday. And I just think Preston, it's do or die for us. I think we'll get a result against Sheffield United. Win and draw Preston 192. On to the Soccer 10. I bank at Highlands Park. You could use any one of the numbers there. I've gone Orlando Pirates win and draw at home against Wits. I've gone the field in the Golden Arrows Cape Town City game. I've banked at Kaizer Chiefs to beat Baraka. I've gone Bournemouth win and draw at home against Burnley. I've banked Leicester to beat Huddersfield. I've gone the field with Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. I've banked Man City to beat Brighton. I've gone Bayern Munich win and draw in the league decider against Dortmund. And I've gone Amazulu win and draw at home against Chipper, 288. On to our Soccer 13. I've banked Man City to beat Brighton. I've gone Bournemouth win and draw at home against Burnley. I've banked Leicester to beat Huddersfield. I've gone Crystal Palace win and draw at Newcastle. Likewise, Leeds United win and draw at Birmingham. I've gone Preston North End win and draw at home against Sheffield United. I've sided with Aston Villa to get a positive result at Sheffield Wednesday. I've gone Swansea City win and draw at home against Middlesbrough. Blackburn Rovers win and draw at home against Stoke. I've sided with Brentford to win or draw against Derby. And I've banked Bristol City to beat Wigan, West Brom to beat Millwall, and Notts Forest to beat Rotherham, 435. On to our Budgies bets for the weekend. I've gone Leicester City to beat Huddersfield and over 2.5 total goals in the same game. And I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Southampton-Liverpool, Bournemouth-Burnley, and Everton-Arsenal fixture on Sunday, 2,700 to 200. On to the Championship, where I've gone Bristol City and West Brom to beat Wigan and Millwall. And I've gone Hull City to beat Reading and over 2.5 total goals, 2,600 to 200. On to the PSL, I've backed Maritzburg to beat Bloem Celtic. I've gone Kaizer Chiefs to beat Baraka. And I've gone both teams to score in the Bidvest Wits Pirates and Golden Arrows Cape Town City clashes, 3,400 to 200. Both teams to score English games are Bournemouth Burnley, Bolton Ipswich, Brentford Derby, Preston Sheffield United, and Sheffield Wednesday versus Aston Villa. On to our Spanish quartet, where I've gone Sevilla to beat Real Valladolid. I've gone Valencia to beat Rayo Vallecano. Both teams to score in the big game of the weekend, Barcelona Atletico Madrid and Celta Vigo Real Sociedad, 2,800 to 200. And our Collis King 6 or Nexa is Leicester to beat Huddersfield, Bristol City to beat Wigan, Norwich to beat QPR, Kaizer Chiefs to beat Baraka, Barcelona to beat Atletico Madrid, and Lazio to beat Sassuolo, 4,000 to 200. Now on to my best bet and best value back for the week. Last weekend we went for Notts Forest to a 13-10, beat Swansea City. This week my best bet is Bristol City to beat Wigan. It's 9-10. You may get even money, but I think Bristol City will be too good for Wigan. And my best value bet, last week we flucked it. Southampton held on against Brighton at 2-1. This week I'm going for West Brom to beat Millwall 16-10. Gav, how do you see it?
Well, my best bets are Leicester City to win. I think they're a good value at 7-10. I think a certainty will be Norwich to win at 4-10, and locally Amazulu to win at 12-10. It's a nice treble.
All right, Gav, thanks for coming in again. To all the viewers, thanks for watching us, and have a safe and happy punting weekend. Goodbye.